All right, you guys, we're back and we're live. Welcome back to our daily live feed. As you are logging on, if you'd like to come or work with me, suitsandposing.com is where you have to go. We do hair, makeup, suits and posing, all the fun stuff when it comes to competing. And as you're logging on here, say hello. Let me know you're here. Say hi. What's up? If you're logging on Instagram, that's cool. We do have it up on YouTube and Facebook as well. Tonight is a prep update night. So we come on and we ask questions. What's up, guys? Welcome. Everybody's here tonight. Our Thursday night live feeds have become very fun. We have coaches on. I see Jared's on right here. And we start talking about prep, off-season programming, diet, training, all those kinds of fun things going on in competition world. I always start out these by letting you guys know I am not a coach. I am not a trainer. I don't do nutrition. I don't do diets. All I do is posing when it comes to coaching. So that's it. But I've been in this industry for 13 years. I've been in the gym industry since I was 19. So I know a thing or two about this stuff. Just a little bit. Cutie table talk. Yes, I love it. I love it. So typically what we do to start these out, and again, I always give everybody a few minutes to get logged on, is I kind of give you guys an update as to where I am in my journey here, whether it's prep, off season, whatever it may be, and then we just kind of let it roll from there. This is your opportunity to come on and ask questions. I will answer them as best I can. And like I said, if there's something on here that I can't answer, we do have coaches on here as well, and maybe they can just chime in and give their 2 cents and stuff like that too. So this is a great opportunity to just have a discussion. We end up having some really good nuggets that come out of these live feeds on Thursday nights. So feel free to ask any question you may like to. There is no stupid question when it comes to these things, because I know there's a lot of people out that are relatively new to competing that come in and tune in here. So go ahead and ask questions, right? And again, I don't claim to have all the answers, but I can give you at least some experience kind of answers and things like that, as far as what I've gone through, what I've done, all of that sort of thing. So fun night tonight. Well, and the funny part is that we don't really, I mean, we might have a show to wrap up next week. We'll see, depending on if they have pictures that come out from that show that's going to be in Italy. We did have Spain pictures, so at least we had that. So hopefully we'll have some from Italy. And if we do, then we'll talk about that next week. But if not, we'll think of something, because we do have a universe coming up next week. So next week is going to be a different week, because I'll be in Jersey on Thursday. So we won't do a live feed Thursday night, because I'll be meeting with everybody as they're getting ready to check in. So with that, let's talk about where we are right now. So the reason why we do this on Thursday nights is because Thursdays are the days that I check in with my coach. So I send in my progress photos and updates on that kind of stuff in the morning. I always hear back from her within a couple of hours, and then I kind of know where we're going from here. So this past week, we started going into a cut phase, like as of last week. So this is the first week of cutting. I lost 0 weight. And that's okay. All we did is we just changed it to carb cycling. So my high days are 300 grams of carbs and my low days are 250. So it's not a big change. We didn't add any cardio. We didn't do anything like that. And I ended up starting my cycle this week too. So my weight actually went up, and then it started coming back down. I'm back like the same place I was this time last week. So with that, when I took my photos and stuff this morning, I felt like it's the best that my backside has looked like ever. So I was really happy about that. I still see the bloating in my waistline and stuff like that, which is normal when you got hormonal fluctuations. So, that's something you need to think about too, guys. If you're going into, part of your cycle where, you're going to put on weight, due to bloating or hormonal fluctuations or whatever it may be, this is not the time to go make a bunch of changes to your programming, because you're going to be fine within a couple days when your body levels back out again. Men don't really have to worry about this. We as women, we do. This is one of the reasons why, I think having the weight classes for men does work. I don't think the weight classes for women works, because we can easily put on 3, 4, 5 pounds in a day just because of our cycle coming or something like that. That happened to me at both of my shows last year, both New York and Dallas. I got my period show day. I mean, technically it was the night of the show, like after the show was when I got it, both shows. So like I remember logging my weight going into Dallas, and I was good on Wednesday. Thursday my weight went up, Friday my weight went up, Saturday I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, this is not supposed to happen like this. That's what happens when your hormones fluctuate. You're a female. I mean, bottom line is the fact that they did that means that I was healthy. You know what I mean? So again, going back to, you don't want to make a bunch of changes, just because you're going to have a little bit of a fluctuation there. Don't be reactionary. Sometimes your body just needs to level back out. It's normal, right? And a lot of times it's healthy too. So anyway, so I checked in this morning, and I was really happy with my progress photos. My weight didn't change, but my measurements did tighten up a little bit with my measurements. So that was good. And the only thing that's changing going into this week is we're adding some cardio. So my cardio all off season, all I was doing was miss cardio, and I was doing 15 minutes 3 times a week. So anytime I had an upper body day, I had cardio, basically. It was 15 minutes. That's it. And for me, miss cardio is getting my heart rate to the 130 zone, which actually is kind of difficult for me. I don't know about you guys, but I know as you become well-trained athletes, your heart rate tends to be, acclimated to your activity. So my low heart rate goes below 50 sometimes, 50 beats per minute. Like when I'm sleeping and stuff, like I'll be in the 47 or something like that when I sleep. I wear my Apple Watch when I sleep, so it records my resting heart rate and all that kind of stuff. Adapted. Yep. Yep. So, I get into the 40s sometimes, which is actually not good. You have to kind of pay attention to that. Sometimes going too low with your heart rate is not a good thing. If you're an athlete, it's kind of expected sometimes, but at the same time, it's not the best thing in the world either. Somebody help me out, type it in the comments. I can't remember what it's called. But it's actually something you have to watch, because you don't want your heart rate to get so low when you're sleeping. So, but anyway, that does happen to me. So on average, I'm usually around 50 beats per minute for my resting heart rate. But I do drop below that even when I'm sleeping sometimes. So for a little bit, and I get notifications on my Apple Watch too when I do drop. There you go. Bradycardia. I can't pronounce it. Just read what Gracie just wrote. That's it. Thank you. That's exactly it. So you do have to watch that. So with that, like I said, getting up to 130 is kind of difficult for me. I don't know if it's hypotension, to be honest with you, Raven. I don't know if that's what it is. What Gracie mentioned is correct. I do know that. So yeah, to get up to 130, I do have to push it pretty hard. But today I will say, typically what I do is I do elliptical. So if I do some resistance on the elliptical, I can actually get my heart rate to go up faster doing resistance versus speed. So if I'm pushing and doing resistance, my heart rate will go up faster, which is good. I mean, that's the same thing when you're strength training and stuff like that too. I mean, my heart rate will spike when I'm doing, intense training. But for me to keep it there is a completely different thing. For me to keep my heart rate up, it's very, very difficult for me to do that. I can spike it, but it's hard for me to keep it up there. So 15 minutes miss cardio for me is not difficult, but it is at the same time because I do have to kind of push hard. So is what it is. So when hypertension, low blood pressure, okay. So now I have 15 minutes of missed cardio every day with each one of my training days. So 6 days a week. I take 1 day off a week. So actually what I did this past week is my day off. I did cardio that day because I just needed to get some steps in. So and my daily steps are only 5,000 a day, which is really low for most people. Most people are going up and over 10,000. But it's a good thing. Again, it gives me a lot to work with as I'm going into prep. So as I start to cut and things like that. So today I actually went and did my cardio outside because I didn't have time when I was at the gym. I finished up my glute workout, came home, I had clients, and then I went and did my cardio outside. And I was actually able to get my heart rate to go up higher, faster, because it was a different type of cardio. I haven't done outside cardio in a long time. And my home, my neighborhood is hilly. So I don't even have to run up the hills in order to get my heart rate to go up. I just have to push it. I have to speed walk, that kind of thing. So same thing as we're talking about with the elliptical, as far as pushing with resistance. It's the same thing going up hills. So I enjoy doing cardio in my neighborhood because it's kind of fun. It's like doing elliptical at the gym because I'm going up and down hills. So yeah, I have hills. So when I'm going downhill, I'll run, which is fun. It's easy. And when I'm going uphill, I walk, and then I can keep my heart rate up. So, and I put a video of my neighborhood up on my stories today. It's a beautiful neighborhood. It was like, it's been raining the last couple of days, but it was nice enough out today to be outside without it actually pouring down. So I just decided to do it outside because I wanted to. My neighborhood's really beautiful. Beautiful homes, beautiful yards, lots of kids and retired people, and like people just take really good care of their property and stuff like that. So it's actually very peaceful here. And I love doing outdoor cardio when I can here. So the only thing that I don't like about outdoor cardio is it's hard on my knees. Running on pavement and things like that. Yeah. So if I can keep it to a walk, a speed walk, that kind of thing, I'm good. But if I have to start running to try to get my heart rate up, that's a problem. So this was actually an issue for me last prep. So this past year, when was it? I want to say it was 6 or 8 months ago, something like that. They opened up a Planet Fitness down the street from my house. So that's fantastic because I can go there and I can do cardio when I need to, right? All during prep of last year, that wasn't there. So I had to do cardio outside all the time, unless I wanted to go to the shop gym, which that's fine. I like going to the shop, but the shop is a good 20 minutes from my house. So if I just need to get cardio in real quick, that's not conducive to time. You know what I mean? If I have to get my cardio in, I might as well go outside and do it. So I was doing outdoor cardio a lot last year. And again, that's really tough on your hips and your knees and your joints and things like that when you're on the concrete. So you have to pick and choose your spots. While I like to do outdoor cardio, I think it's actually more strenuous, on the joints and on the knees, on the hips and all of that. So what about you guys? What's your favorite form of cardio? I don't like treadmills either. I like ellipticals mostly. I'll do spin bikes sometimes. But even spin bikes, I'm not a huge fan of because they hurt to sit on them for a long period of time, especially if you've just done glutes or something like that. It's the worst thing in the world to try to sit on those bike seats. But yeah, I do actually, like I said, I like doing the outdoor cardio if I can, but incline treadmill, walk, but no hand holding. Yeah, outdoor walking, power walking. Yeah, treadmill. Treadmill. If I had something in my house, we have a bike at my house, so I will use that sometimes. So I feel like I don't want to go to the gym or something like that. I don't use it very often. Stepmill or elliptical spin bikes. Yep. Usually use inclined treadmill. Heart rate. See, the elliptical, I just talked about that, Tanisha, when you were logging on. I can get my heart rate up on the elliptical if I'm doing resistance. I can't do it with speed. I can do it with resistance. Boot camp for HIIT and elliptical for all other. Well, and Andrea, you do routines and stuff like that too. So you do some intense cardio there. If outside bleacher runs, I love. There's no place in my immediate area where I can do bleacher runs, but yeah, I used to love doing that. Where I used to live, there was a high school right down the street, and I would do that a lot. I like that type of thing too. Boxing, okay, all right. Treadmill, elliptical, but then I run on a treadmill. Peloton treadmill. I know. Well, you know what I did during the whole COVID situation is I did do Peloton. I don't have a Peloton bike, but I have a bike. So I would use the app and I would do that. And I would also do classes and stuff through the app. every once in a while, I'll do some classes and stuff. Like I'll pull up on YouTube or something like that. Again, this is like if I just feel like dancing or something rather than going and doing some boring cardio. You know what I mean? But I don't do it very often. I don't do classes very often. I use that more I use the classes thing more kind of out of necessity if I don't want to leave the house, and I'll do it here. Like I said, I did it a lot during COVID. Or if we ever had like snowstorms or something like that, I would do it here at the house so I didn't have to leave, that kind of thing. But I'm more of a boring cardio kind of person. So I would much rather do it outside walking if I can and keep my heart rate up. If I can't keep my heart rate up, then I got to run a little bit. That's okay. That's what I prefer over everything, right? But regardless, yeah, like as Andrea said here, I hate cardio regardless, you know what I mean? So the less I can do, the better. I like it enough to feel like I'm doing something, you know what I mean? Like I like it enough to feel like I'm getting my heart rate up, I'm burning calories, that kind of thing. Like there's sometimes, depending on how intense your workout is and your training is, sometimes cardio is just that good finisher, to be like, okay, I really feel like I worked out today. But I don't typically feel that way. Like my training, like my actual lifting and stuff is pretty intense, especially when I do lower body days, glutes and stuff like that. Like I always leave the gym freaking heart rate through the roof, you know what I mean? Because drenched because of my training, not because of cardio. So that's really where I prefer to get my caloric burn in, is through training versus anything else. And that also will help to, hold on to the muscle as you diet and things like that too. So if I can keep my cardio low and drop weight, I'll be happy. I'll be real happy. Last year, I didn't do a ton of cardio. Last year, I got to 90 minutes of cardio for about 2 weeks and then started pulling it back. And that was going into New York because I wasn't quite ready for New York. So we pushed it really hard the last couple of weeks. And then after New York was over, we pulled it back going into Dallas. So I never really did a ton except for those couple of weeks. And those couple of weeks were brutal. Those were friggin' brutal. I'm like, I hate it. If I can keep my cardio under 45 minutes, I'm good. And typically with preps for me, that's typically how it goes. I'm also a very tall, long, lean girl to begin with. I don't get really big. So when it comes to prep for me, a lot of it is about holding size, being able to hold on to size. And cardio doesn't help me hold on to size. So I'm never one that has to do a lot of it, thank God. But the Achilles heel to that is that it's hard for me to look full and muscular. So, we all have our struggles. So while I can get lean, that also means that I lose shape and I lose size when I do that. The good size, I lose muscle. So, that's my tough part. So ask the coaches in the group to use the standard 220 minus age for heart rate, or the Karavanen equation, resting heart factored in. I don't even know what that is. I don't know what Karavanen. So maybe I know Jared's on here. Maybe he knows. I don't know. I just do what my coach tells me to do. I'll say that much when it comes to my cardio. And typically it's missed cardio. It's not steady state. I've done HIIT cardio before too, but again, you got to be careful with doing too much of that. It's hard to recover from HIIT cardio when you're in prep, that kind of thing. So you got to be careful about recovery. This is why I really am an advocate of doing slow preps for everyone, regardless of where you are and what your goal weight is and things like that. Basically takes your normal resting heart rate into consideration versus age-based only. To me, that sounds like that would be the most beneficial. That sounds like that would be the most logical thing to do, personally. But I also think it might be overanalyzing it a little bit. I tend to think that consistency and being at 80% all the time is better than being at 100% some of the time and like 50% some of the time. Does that make sense? And what I mean by that is there's always going to be a margin of error with your heart rate, with your monitors, all those kinds of things, depending on what time of day it is, depending on, you may have just had caffeine, so your heart rate's higher or whatever. I think there's always going to be a variability to it. So the more consistent that you can be with your methods and things like that, the more accurate it's going to be. But at the same time, I think sometimes there's the paralysis of analysis, meaning that you just overanalyze everything and then nothing actually happens. You know what I mean? So I think there's a balance there. I think a lot of it comes down to athletes' conditioning and training type, because like Sean said, sometimes the more conditioned you get, the more work it can take. So it can test case by case too. Yeah, that makes complete sense too, Jared. I agree with you there. Because going back to using myself as an example, last year when I was deep in prep, it was impossible for me to get my heart rate up. It was so hard for me to get my heart rate up because I had already been doing cardio and stuff like that for so long. I did a long prep last year too, where I started cutting in November, kind of like what I'm doing now. I just had more weight on me last year in order to take off. So I started a cutting phase in November. And I didn't really start hitting prep hard until we got into the new year, but I was cutting. So I was doing cardio and things like that. So by the time I got to, like April, May, I mean, it was next to impossible to get my heart rate to get high enough. It was really, really hard. Like I was running and couldn't get my heart rate to get up to 130. It was bad. So it was very difficult. It was very stressful on the body when it gets to that point to try to get there. So that's the point where we started kind of bumping up the time that I was doing cardio versus the intensity, right? There's a difference between time and intensity, I think. I agree with what Jared said. It's individual and the monitors do a decent enough job. So I stick to what works regularly and consistently, kind of like your food on a scale, cooked or raw. Yep. Whatever you use to track consistently, do that. Yep. It's almost like people who do macro calculators, but you don't know if it's a good fit until it's been tested over time, seeing exactly what someone's metabolism is. So sort of the same with heart rate. Yeah, makes sense. This goes back to why it's important to have a good relationship, a good communication with your coach, and a long-lasting relationship with your coach too, because everybody is different, right? So you have to start collecting data. You have to start collecting data points and knowing like this affected me this way, this affected me that way, that kind of thing. And then, and then you can adjust from there. I think one of the reasons why some people don't make a lot of progress when they like coach hop is because they don't have any data to build on, right? I think if you've got a good communication with your coach and, you have consistent check-ins, you have consistent feedback, then you can build on it. This is not like rocket science here, you guys, like most of the stuff that we're talking about today, when we're talking about heart rate, we're talking about all this kind of thing. You can Google most of this information to figure it out, right? Like you can figure it out for yourself and do it yourself. Having a good coaching relationship, having a good relationship with your coach, you just collect those data points and build on it together, right? And like you said, you monitor it and you adjust it based on the client, based on how they're responding, based on what they're doing, which is also why it's important to be honest with your coach. We've talked about this before too. If you screw off on your diet or you screw off on your training, you need to let them know, that kind of thing, so that way they aren't just adjusting things blindly. They need to know that you're doing these things, because if they think that one thing's affecting you one way, but you're not doing it that way, what are they adjusting it for, right? So that was the thing today too. When I checked in the app with my coach, I thought I put my weight in and I didn't. Apparently I forgot to put it in. I think what happened is I think I typed it in, then I went to do something else and I forgot to save it. Anyway, so she went to go do my feedback and she's like, you didn't put your weight in. I was like, oh, well, it's the same as last week. So as soon as I told her that's when she bumped my cardio up. I'm like, oh, damn. But, she needed that communication to know what to do with my cardio, my training, right? So if I hadn't told her that my weight stayed the same, she might have kept my cardio the same, right? We got to see what's going to affect me and what's going to work for me, that kind of thing. And the only way you do that is by communicating it. You know what I mean? So, so my macros are staying the same for this week, and my cardio is going up. And again, when I say cardio going up, it's 15 minutes 6 times a week, which is not bad. How much cardio do you guys do right now? So type into the comments and say how much cardio you're doing, and if you're in prep or if you're in off season. If you want to expand upon that and talk about what you typically do, meaning if you are in off season, what's your typical cardio programming? If you are in on season, what's your typical on season programming? Go ahead and type that into the comments here. Let's get an idea of what people do on a regular basis. I know some people really like cardio, which is fine. But you have to realize that if you do a lot of cardio just to do it, when you need to use it as a tool, you're going to have to do more. So I'm in prep 5 times 60-minute incline walk, diet break this week, 5 times 30 minutes. See, I can do the 5 times 30 minutes. I can do the 5 times 45 minutes. Once we start getting over that 45-minute mark, I start hating life at that point. Like, it's too much for me. In prep, 10 minutes, 3 times a week, step mill. Well, everybody's going fast. Okay, let me scroll back. Prep, 10 minutes a week, 3 times a week, step mill, walking only on non-prep. We've got off season, 30 minutes, 4 times a week, and 20-minute run. Working on losing weight to get into a good place to improve the season and taper off cardio. Okay. Prep is 60 minutes every day, 6 times a week. 30 minutes, 5 days a week. Currently doing a diet break, starting prep again in a few weeks. We got off season, recomping 3 times 30 minutes steady state and 2 times hit. Okay. Not in prep, 30 minutes. Got it. 60 minutes, 5 times a week. Plus 2 hit days, 30 minutes and 10K. That's a lot, Brandy. Jesus, H Christ. Anyway, right now I'm doing 40 minutes, 4 days a week. Not in prep, but I'm still trying to drop some body fat. 6 days a week with calorie burn goal of 350. Yeah, some people go by caloric burn for their cardio. Yep. 10K steps too. Yep. Yeah, Brandy is deep in prep, so it's okay. I understand. We all get there. You know what I mean? A few weeks in prep, doing 5 times 30 with a heart rate of 130. In prep, 45 minutes of hit 2 times, 2 routine practices. I usually don't do this much hit, but I was winded at the O, so I needed a front load. Yeah, you've got a different kind of conditioning you got to hit for sure. Brandy is deep in prep. Yes. 30 minutes 3 times a week, not in prep, just a little cutting. That's about right in prep, Brandy. I've been there too, right? Yeah, no, I get it. I understand. I've been there in prep too, but it still sucks. Still sucks. Yeah. If I'm less present on socials, doing cardio all the freaking time. See, and that's the thing. Like, if I'm doing missed cardio or steady state cardio or something like that, I can still do work while I'm doing cardio. If I'm doing hit, I can't. So I don't like hit too. I'd rather do miss or steady state because I can still at least get on and update my social media and things like that. And I don't do a lot of work while I'm doing cardio, but I can at least like get posts out and respond to things and all that kind of stuff. I can do that kind of thing while I'm doing cardio. 17,000 steps, 9 weeks out. That's a lot of steps, Holly. Woo, geez Louise. That's a lot. So typically when I'm in prep, I start prep at about 10K. By the end, I get to about 14. I don't think I ever got to 17. That's a lot. But again, I go back to, I'm also one of those people that I don't do a lot of cardio in general. So I watch so many shows. I know, right? Give me a steady state. I can watch a show, read a book, right? Yeah. Well, to an extent, like I go back to, like, I don't have a problem with having a step goal. I think a step goal is good because you can kind of get the steps in however you want. And again, I have a beautiful neighborhood. I love walking around in my neighborhood. So I'll take the dogs for a walk and things like that. Like, just walking up and down my freaking driveway it gets me enough steps. You know what I mean? So I'm good with the step goals and stuff like that. It's like when I start feeling it in my hips, feeling it in my knees and things like that from intensity of cardio or length of cardio, then that becomes a problem. You know what I mean? So I just want to keep things healthy as I'm moving along as well. So Gracie would also like, what series can I get into for when cardio is going up? Right. Yeah. Netflix is a fantastic thing at this point. Right. So, but yeah, I think everybody's different. I know some people do the steady state cardio and they'll do like 2 hours of steady state cardio a day. I'll be honest with you, that shit would kill me. Like, I'll be honest, that would absolutely kill me. Like, I would have no motivation. I wouldn't want to train. Like, it gets to a certain point for me with cardio where it actually affects my training in the gym, where I don't want to train hard. You know what I mean? Like, I don't want my cardio to affect my training intensity. I want my training intensity to still be good. I think I get more caloric burn from my training intensity than I do from my cardio. You know what I mean? And I think that that's kind of the way it should be. I would much rather lift harder than do cardio in order to get the caloric burn. Right? All the shows. I know, right? I have to start. I'll have to start like front loading those so that I can get them ready for when I do have to start doing more cardio. Right now I'm good. Right now I don't have to worry about that. So I got plenty of stuff to do on the elliptical at this point. But yeah, so as you move along, one of the biggest things I think, as far as like I was saying with this particular topic and turning up the heat, I think it needs to be gradual. And I think that you need to build upon it slowly. What I see a lot of people do, not as much anymore, but this was a big thing, 5-10 years ago when we didn't talk about this stuff as much, is as soon as you get into prep, it's like 60 minutes of cardio right away. Doesn't matter where you came from or what you were doing. Let's just get on the treadmill for 60 minutes. Now we're in prep. We got 12 weeks. We got to shred it off. What happens when you do that? Yeah, you shred it off, but you also shred off all of your muscle that you just put on as well, right? Or the same thing with your caloric cut. When you just, boom, all of a sudden you're low on your calories, you are starving yourself in order to lose weight. That is not the same thing as cutting down for a bodybuilding show. You should want to go nice and slow because then you're able to retain the muscle that you built, right? You don't want to have to cut off unnecessary muscle in order to get the fat off. And that comes down to your macros, what you're eating, how much food you're eating, and how much cardio you're doing. And like I said, if you're doing a lot of cardio and it's affecting your training intensity, then you're actually getting hit from both ends. Maybe we could hear from some of the coaches that are in here, or even just those of you that are competitors here, to type into the comments and say, listen, I would much rather have a higher training intensity and less cardio. I mean, I would. I know I'd much rather have a higher training intensity personally. I just think in general, like I said, it's going to help you hold your muscle. But what do you guys think? And I'll say this too. It's a dangerous game when you're playing with cardio. It's a dangerous game when you're playing with cardio, man. Because what happens is you get to the end of prep, get your show, and you don't want to do cardio anymore. And that's what was actually burning the fat off of you. So you stop doing cardio altogether when you get done with your show. And boom, the weight comes right back. And it's not good weight. It's not good weight. And then guess what? When you go to prep again, you have to push cardio that much harder in order to get it off again. And guess what happens? You lose more muscle. It's a dangerous game. It's a slippery slope. Just saying. Your priority should be on your training. Yep, your priority should be on your training. And your food. And your food too. Be a longer, slow prep with minimal cardio and a focus on training intensity. Yep. 100%. Yep. 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 The harder that you go, the harder that you have to push your body when you're in prep, the harder it's going to be for you to hold that look. And you're going to look worse when you get out of it. I'm speaking from experience. I know. I had a lot of coaching experiences in the past. That's just what you did. Once you got into prep, you started cutting the calories way back and you started bumping that cardio way up. Right? Higher training intensity and hit immediately after 2 days a week. Bonus if the gym's hot. There you go. Right? That's actually one of the reasons why I like going to the shop gym. So I go to the one in Manassas, and they don't really have AC in there. So they get a good cross breeze going in and all that kind of stuff. It's not terrible, and they've got fans and all that kind of thing. But for me, I actually like that. And it makes me boost up my training intensity. I feel like I'm doing more. So I'm learning this the hard way to really focus on training. Yep, absolutely. Yep. I'll take a longer prep too. Improvement season to be good place. Yep. I agree with Jamel. The body cannot go without cardio, unfortunately. Well, and that's the thing too. I think there's a balance. Like I was saying, I don't think you should do no cardio. That was a big catchphrase, 5 years ago or something like that. The no cardio crew. No, there needs to be cardio. That's part of it. But I just don't think that needs to be the focus, right? I think that the focus should be training. I think the majority of your intensity should go into your training, not your cardio. If you're spent after cardio, probably a problem, right? And you got to structure your cardio too, so that you're able to do it where you can still have that training intensity. I know some people. Let's go into this topic. I know some people love doing AM cardio. They love doing it fasted, all that kind of stuff. I personally don't. I'm not a fasted cardio person. I've done it. Studies, though, science, all that kind of stuff says there is no benefit to it. There is no benefit to actually doing fasted cardio. If you like to do it that way and you want to do it that way, totally fine. But it's actually not going to burn more calories doing it that way. Right? Yeah, balance, agreed. Focus on intensity and training. That's why I don't do cardio. Before I work out, rather do 2 hours of heavy hard lifting than 2 hours of cardio. Yeah. If you're working hard with weights and let's say an hour and is 130, what's the difference between that hour at 130 on cardio? Yeah. Yep. Love training in the AM and the cardio in the PM. When you're getting that intensity in the weight room, you get more benefit. So you get data on average heart rate averages when lifting. You can see where you scale back on cardio. Yeah, absolutely. And and again, going back to, I watch those kinds of things myself, and my heart rate absolutely spikes more and higher when I'm training versus when I'm doing cardio. Yeah, I always do my cardio after lifting as well. Yep. I like fasted cardio just because it's before my day starts, but I won't sacrifice sleep for it. I'll just do it after training. True, and the people post fasted cardio like it's a badge of honor, like it's a status symbol. I know, right? It's just my schedule. It works better for me to do cardio in the AM, lift after work. I feel stronger. I have a couple meals. Yeah, and again, going back to, if that's the way you like to do it, cool. If that's the way you like to do it, cool. But it's not actually going to give you any benefit over doing it any other time of the day, right? I hate it in the morning, but I hate doing it after a lift more. There you go. Yeah. Younger bikini athlete me feels exposed, Jared. Yeah, we all used to do that shit, right? That's all that bro science out there, man. That's all that bro science. Bro science is no longer a thing, right? Makes me feel sick. Yeah, I like fasting because I'll vomit after the mental fortitude to go cardio. And that's the other part of it too. You got to do it where you can actually put the intensity into your cardio too. So for me, I don't like doing it in the morning because I don't put the intensity into my cardio in the morning. Some people have caloric burn goals when it comes to their cardio. And for me, I can't hit a caloric burn goal in the morning. I can't do it. It just doesn't work for me. I do it after I lift. That's when I can do it the best. Sometimes I'll get done with my lifting session, I'll eat, and then I'll do my cardio. I did that today. I did my lifting, came home and I ate, had a client, and then I went and did my cardio. I would much rather do it that way because I know I'll put the intensity into the cardio versus just doing it to say I just got it done. Right? I wish I could lift in the AM. I'm just not. I have an email at 4 a.m. Not happening. Yeah, I can't lift in the morning. No. The morning is the last time that I would lift. The last time of day that I would lift would be the morning. I know some people love it. I cannot do it. I have to have a couple of meals in me. My perfect time frame for lifting is 1:00 in the afternoon. That's typically when I go. I depending on the day, I have clients either in the morning or I have clients in the afternoon and evening. So I go either before my clients or I go after my clients, one of the two. And at that point, I've got a couple of meals in me. I'm feeling good. It's kind of like people always hit that lull during the day where they drop in their energy around 1-2 o'clock. So I use that time frame right there to get a meal in, get my energy drink or whatever, and go to the gym, right? And that's when I get my training intensity up. So I don't have a lull through the day. And then when I get back, I have that post-workout high and I continue my work for the rest of the day. So that's what works out best for me. I would even prefer to lift at night. I lift at night sometimes. Like if I go through my whole day and I haven't had a chance to actually go to the gym, I'll go at night. I'll go lift at night. I would much rather do it at night because again, I've got food in me. I cannot lift if I don't have food in me. I just can't do it. So, I have to do 4 a.m. lifts before my firehouse shift sometimes. Ugh, sucks. No way I could do that. Sorry. I mean, if I had to, I probably would, but no. My perfect time is lunch break. I have the most energy. Me too. 11 to 1 is perfect. Usually do this on the weekend. 2 meals, 1 p.m. is perfect. Yep. Such a morning person, but that lifting in the morning and cardio right after work, best for me. In the evening, I'm so drained, nothing good happens. I have 2 rice cakes in my honey before I'm training, and then I'm treating carbs with gray area with 6. No, can't do that. So back in the day, I used to work at Starbucks. So I used to open Starbucks. So I was at work at 4:30 in the morning, like I was already at work, and I would go through my whole day. I'd work there. I had another job in the afternoon, and I would go home and I would go train at 5:00 in the afternoon. There's no way. I just can't do training in the morning. I just can't do it. It's just not me. I learned that working out cardio morning helps me manage my ADD so much better, though I love training after a couple of meals. Yeah. And I get that too. Some people some people have that eat the green frog mentality. Like you just need to get it in and get it done. And then you can go about your day. And I understand that mentality. For me, it's more like I want to get all my work done, all of my admin stuff, whatever it is for the day, or my clients done for the day or whatever. And then I can relax and I can focus on my workout. If I go and work out first, then all I'm thinking about is all the work I got to do at home. I want to get all that stuff done first. I want to get all the stuff done here first so I can go and I can relax and actually do my workout and focus on my workout, right? If I don't do it that way, my mind is diverted one way or the other. One way or the other, I'm focusing on what I shouldn't be focusing on, right? I put things in terms of money from my clients. So if you give $500 to spend in the day, it doesn't matter when you spend it. Same with calories. If you burn 500 calories faster, 500 any time is still 500. Yep. 1 p.m. is when my childcare breaks at my gym. Cardio, meal train around 10 a.m. is my perfect morning. Then I'm done by noon. There you go. Yep. Trouble sleeping when I train at night. Another misconception also is the fat burning zone. Yeah. Agreed. At the end of the day, it's like you said, it's caloric burn. Any way you slice it, it's calories burned. Calories burned versus calories in. That's what's going to make the difference. So regardless of how you get those calories burned, there's still calories burned, right? So you got to do it in the way that's going to be most beneficial for you. And again, going back to, I would much rather burn it in the weight room, personally, than I would any other way. That's personally just me. I would much rather have a higher training intensity than have a ton of cardio. But some people like the cardio. And I used to be a cardio bunny. Before I did all this bodybuilding stuff, I was absolutely a cardio bunny. That is what I did all the time. I would do cardio freaking 2-3 hours a day. That's what I did. I think a lot of us probably did that back in the 90s, for those of us, 90s, 2000s, for those of us that are not spring chickens here. but this stuff has all changed as we've gotten older, not only as we've gotten older, just as new science, new studies have come out, get it in where you can fit it in. Yeah, absolutely. 100%. There is no magic time. There is no magic answer. It is a matter of how you get those, it's not a matter of how you get those calories burned. It's a matter of getting the calories burned, period. So again, going back to, if you like the fasted cardio, cool, go for it. If you don't need to. Yeah, some people love running. I freaking hate running. Oh my God, I hate it. I hate it with a passion. When I was in high school, I played field hockey, and we'd have 2-a-days and stuff like that. And I would much rather be doing drills and stuff like that for the actual like plays and things like that than running like on the field and shit like that. I hated it. Because I'm so tall and my legs are so long, people always told me I should do track, and I had such an aversion to running. I was like, no, never gonna do it. Never gonna happen. So I actually was pretty decent, because again, I have really long legs, so I actually can run pretty decent. But no, I fucking hate it. Absolutely, absolutely hate it. It's too bad. I probably could have been really good at it. It's too bad. Oh well. Really helps people understand, metabolism, especially post-show, for sure. Yep. Remember back in the day when women wanted small glute? Yeah, back in the day, man, when I was in high school and in college and all that, in my 20s, if you were bigger than a size 0, you were fat. It was not good. Now it's like, give me the biggest ass you can give me. It's something, I can't remember. I saw a quote somewhere. And I can't remember it exactly, but the whole fashion industry is run by gay men. So they're like making women look like clothes hangers. And they're like, those men don't even want you. The men that actually want you as women don't want you to be a clothes hanger. You know what I mean? So that was the entire trend through like the 80s and 90s, based on images that like real men that actually wanted real women didn't want. Right? Isn't it funny when you start thinking about that, man? Like, it's like, wow, yeah, that actually makes a whole lot of sense. Oh, okay. So I think fit fluff is good. Is that a word? Fit fluff? Fit fluff? The bigger the better. Yes, absolutely. The bigger the better on the ass now. Everybody wants a big ass now. Just saying. Thank God I was born in this generation. These legs and glutes won't quit. I know. Well, that was the thing. Like, I'm, in the bodybuilding world, I'm skinny. You know what I mean? I'm a thin girl. I'm a long girl. In the regular world, I'll never forget it. When I started modeling, when I first went to my first casting and stuff, they told me I should be doing plus size modeling. I was a size 4. And they were telling me I should do plus size. I'm like, you fucking kidding me? It's like, Jesus. Andrea, you just said it right there. Pretty sure the plus size models on the America's Next Top Model were a size 4. Exactly. That's exactly what it was back in the day. Andrea literally just put it in there. Yeah, I was a size 4 and they told me I should do plus size. I was like, I'm 5'9". I'm 130 pounds. How the hell am I a plus size model? Like, seriously? Oof. Yeah. Size 0 to 2 was your typical model. Yeah, 4 to 6. 4 to 6 was plus. Mm-hmm. Yep. Isn't that crazy? I don't even know what size I am now because I don't wear like regular clothes. I wear leggings. So I don't wear normal people clothes. I wear fit girl clothes. Everything I wear is spandex. It's stretchy. So I don't know what size I am now, but I think I'm still like a size like 6-ish. If I recall, I think my jeans are like a 5, 6 or something like that. Because again, even when I put on weight, I don't get big because I'm so tall. So, but still, I would still be considered a plus size model. Yep. Back in the day, I know very, very well. You tell 18-year-old me that I'm a plus size. That was not good. Back in the day, that was not good. Nowadays, it's like, okay, cool. Like, it's cool. Like, I want to be bigger now. But that back in the day, that was not cool. Yeah, it's wild. Yep. Mm-hmm. I looked like a 12-year-old boy whenever I was a size 0. I know. I think back to it now. I'm like, man, I was like this. There was some time frames, and it was so unhealthy too. Like I went on, I'm sure some of you guys have heard of this before. I did the master cleanse. I did that. I don't even know how many times. You literally drink lemonade with cayenne pepper and maple syrup, and you drink smooth move tea every night. So you basically drink your sugar all day long, and then you poop all night long. That was a diet. That was a literal diet. And you do that for 12 days. And I did that several times. Yeah, it was fun times. Fun times. Thank God those trends have changed, and hopefully they will never come back. Hopefully they will never come back because it was not healthy. It was not healthy at all. It wasn't cute either. It's like, who wants to look like a 12-year-old boy? Nobody wants to look like a 12-year-old boy. 12-year-old boys don't even want to look like 12-year-old boys. Less making you fatter. Scroll the minute on YouTube. Very informative. Understand what happens. There you go. And that was the case too. A lot of those diets back in the the 80s and 90s, things like that. Those diets actually made you worse. They made you fatter. Sure did. Because you slowed your metabolism down and stuff by not eating, basically. Yep, and heated up prune juice, so cringe. I know, it's just crazy when you start thinking about the stuff that we used to do, man. Oh, goodness. Thank goodness all that stuff has changed. Thank goodness, being fit and everything is trendy now. I mean, that's a good thing, right? So this was a little bit of a tangent. We always tend to go on these tangents on these Thursday lives, which is what makes them fun. I think we have to start talking about this stuff a little bit, and it's just like it's cool to kind of see where other people come from and how you can relate to it and things like that too. So, that's one of the hardest things I find a lot of times with working with masters competitors, women my age. We grew up in a time frame where being thick and curvy was not idealized at all. So it's really hard a lot of times for women over the age of 35 to think about putting weight on. Really hard. Whereas younger girls are like, yeah, give me all of it. Give me all of it, right? We grew up, like, again, going back to being a size 0 was considered, if you're over a size 0, you were considered fat. So it's a completely different mentality, right? We love Thursdays, right? Yep. Sorry, it was me talking about my small butts. Yes, right? But it's true. I mean, when you're in this age group, we grew up with a different mindset. So those of you that are younger, that are in your 20s and things like that, be thankful that the body positivity thing happened, because it was not the case when we were growing up. Yeah. I was size 6 in high school and I felt fat. Yeah. Yep. Kelby, what did you write, Kelby? That's too funny. I didn't see if that happens, I don't see it. I didn't see it on my end. I don't know what you typed in. Must have not even come through. That's funny. Fat phobic. You probably said something about being fat, right? Because they probably censored that on YouTube. Probably. It was a drastic change for me once I hit 35. Everything changed. Yeah. It's just been the last, I don't know, 5 years or something like that. Apparently, you can't tell me, Kelby, right? Apparently, it's against the rules. Okay. All right. But yeah, it's really been the last 5 years or so where this trend of thickness has come into play, which has been good. It's been good. You must have had a cuss word. Mine got censored last week when I did that. Oh, 100% my clients older than me do not want to gain weight. My clients younger than me keep asking me how to get a bigger butt. Yeah. No, I grew up, my mom was on every fad diet you could think of. I remember watching that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Babies will change a body too, for sure. That's a whole other topic. That's a whole other topic right there. But yeah, so anyway, going back to, we want to keep the curves. So when we turn the heat up, we want to keep the heat going into that training intensity versus the cardio intensity. See how I tied it all back in together? See how I tied that all back in together? You like that? Oh yeah, the Atkins diet. Oh yeah, I wanted the Atkins diet. Yep, I wanted the Atkins diet too. Kelby, you're just getting flagged everywhere. They said dieting is 14. Yeah, oh yeah. I'm trying to remember. I was definitely in high school when I bought like my first diet pills from CVS. I'll never forget that because it was like, you can get them, like it was something stupid, but I was just like, I want these. I want to be skinny, But yeah, and I hid them. I hid them in my dresser because I didn't want my parents to see that I bought diet pills from CVS. Oh goodness, how times have changed. How the times have changed, you guys. Oh my goodness gracious. And on that note, I'm dieting now. Oh my God. Well, Hydroxycut. Yeah. Hydroxycut and Zenadrin. Yeah. Absolutely. Yep. Just feed yourself full of the freaking ephedra. 100%. Did all that. I did all that. Oh my God. How did we not kill ourselves, you guys? Whew. We live to tell the tale. We live to tell the tale. Snack wells. Yep. Didn't they use ephedra and diet pills at one point? They did. Yeah. You could buy ephedra over the counter. 100%. Can't do it anymore because people started dying from it. Yep. Yeah. You can eat boxes of fat-free foods because they're fat-free. Yep. Lipo-6. Yep. Absolutely. I took those too. The black ones. What was another one? Lipidrain or something like that. The yellow ones that look like little honeycombs. Yep. Right? We fell for all of the marketing, you guys. All the marketing bullshit, you guys. We all fell for all of it. Slim Fast actually wasn't too bad. It's actually nutrient dense, but the problem with Slim Fast is that you would only eat that and nothing else. That was the problem with Slim Fast. So, yeah. Man, you guys, marketing is a powerful tool. Powerful tool. Oof. So the botanical slimming gels. Oh my God. Yeah. Diet culture has come a long way, y'all. Come a long way. In a good way. In a good way. And on that note, I need to eat. Like I still got macros I gotta get in tonight. So, well, that was fun, guys. I always enjoy our Thursday nights. We had a little trip down diet memory lane here tonight. Hey, we all did it, right? We all were in the same boat. It's a good thing to be where we are now, right? So let's keep turning up the heat in the right way now. In the right way now. All right. So good times. I know, good times. Hey, we made it through. We made it. Yep. Okay, so with that, you guys, the fashion industry was led by a certain type of man, then it makes sense why you needed to look like a boy. There. Is that what you tried to type, Kelby? Is that what you tried to type? Got it. Yep. Sam just got home from the gym and I've been starving. Glad I could pop on. Yeah, glad you could join us too. Absolutely. Y'all are my girls' night in, right? Yeah, it's girls' night in right here. And Jared. It's always and Jared. And Jared's always here too. So guys. Yep. Let's yeah. That's exactly right. Kelby hit it on the nail on the head right there. Yep. If the fashion industry was led by a certain type of man, then it would make sense why you needed to look like a boy. Yeah. Yep. Makes complete sense. Ties it all together for you, doesn't it? Yeah, glad to be here with you too. Yes. Live to tell the tale. Yes, we did. We sure did. And we're here to make the younger generations better for it, right? Yep. Couldn't say the word. Yeah, it makes okay. Makes sense, Kelby. Yeah, I get it. It starts with a G. Well, I said it for you, so maybe this video will get censored. Who knows? Freaking crazy, man. All right. On that note, guys, I'm gonna let y'all go because I gotta go eat myself. And then if you want to work with me, website's right here. The QR code right there for Sean'sCoutureCuties.com. You can get there and you can do glam with me, hair and makeup for shows. You can do posing. You can do suits, whatever you need with me. Suits, hair, makeup, posing. I do it all. I got it all for you right there. All right. And with that, we'll be back again next week. We will do a live on Tuesday. Depending on what the show coverage looks like from this coming weekend over in Italy, we may wrap it up. We may do something completely different. We'll see. We'll see what we can do. All right. That was fun tonight. So go do your cardio if you need to. If not, do it tomorrow after your workout or in the morning or wherever you want to do it. Just keep that training intensity up. That's all we care about, right? And have a great weekend. I'll see some of you guys at Sundays with Sean this coming weekend on Sunday. And then we'll be back here live again on Tuesday night. All right. I'm going to log off of Instagram first and then off of YouTube. Good night, you guys.